All right, I think we're live. Hello, George, again.
Hi, good to see you. Thanks for your
Yeah,
patience.
yeah, no worries. No, we are human again. For those that do not know, George, George and I have a great relationship, so sometimes we're a little bit late to our appointments between us. But as friends, and especially as a Greek myself, being a little bit late is actually respectful.
Oh,
this is this is our this is our philosophy, George. So that you know, okay.
okay.
So, anyways, George, today let's talk about a few things that I think it's important for people to know and you want to address too. And I think it's crucial to know for people. So, please, the stage is
Okay.
yours.
Thank you. Uh, I wanted to tell your listeners that because of restructuring and prices, just to kind of give a quick history, is the cost of everything have been continued to rise, and we've managed to hold the price of the AquaCure AC50 to $2,500, $2,499, for almost 7 years now, and we want to continue holding the price at $2,499. But even though over the years what we've done is we've made more efficient manufacturing, we've bought things more in bulk, so our price, as much as possible, we reduce the manufacturing costs and the costs of being on the internet and overhead, and we've done everything we can to keep the price down, but the prices of everything just keep rising. So our costs, we keep them down, but in the end, it comes down to we have to find other ways of making up that margin. And there's also been a problem with coupon codes being used to as competing out there. So the price of the AquaCure, the coupon codes have been getting more and more, and so a lot of people are using 20% discount coupon codes out there right now, partially to give their customers an excellent deal, which I applaud. It's good, but two things happen at the same time. First of all, that money doesn't come to us to keep the lights on, and then secondly, the perceived value of the AquaCure starts to get diminished when there's such steep discounts, and then we don't make any money, and then eventually people lose respect for the technology, which is really important because we want to get out there, and we want to understand. We want people to understand that the technology is worth the money, particularly since the AquaCure AC50 is really more functional, safer, and does a better produces a more therapeutic gas than medically certified machines in Asia that are over $30,000 US dollars. So you're getting a really good deal at $2,500, and we want to keep it at that price instead of raising the price. So one of the things that we've recently done is restructure so that all the coupon codes in the world globally on April 30th will go to 5%. So all the 20% discount coupons or 10% or 15 or anything that's out there right now will all go to 5%. That'll give us the leeway we need to keep the lights on and do the work that we're doing, which I'll discuss a little bit more in a few minutes, to and still give people a discount, keep the perception high, and away we go. So uh, your particular discount code, which we've enjoyed and helped a lot of people with, of Wolf 20, is now, it'll still say Wolf 20, but after April 30th, it'll only give a 5% discount instead of a 20% discount. So we want to advise people out there quickly before it changes, so that anybody who has been wanting to buy an AquaCure has this opportunity to take advantage of that 20% discount while it still lasts. So we want to make sure at really clearly that you have until April 29th to make that to take advantage of that 20% discount, and you can go to aquacure.life and click on the buying the AquaCure and use that Wolf 20 WOLF 20 discount code to get the 20% discount on the AquaCure, and we're good to go. Okay, so just wanted to make that clear and upfront, because that's one, and we'll get that out as quickly as we can to people so that they can take advantage of that while it still lasts. Okay, then another thing I wanted to say was there's people out there, and I'm, for lack of a better word, I'm just going to call it competitors. There's people out there that are telling untruths or misconceptions of what's going on with Brown's gas. One of the things is lye, because we use lye as a catalyst in the AquaCure and pretty much any Brown's gas machine. They think, oh, you're going to be inhaling, like I'm inhaling right now. I'm inhaling the Brown's gas, and they say if you're inhaling the Brown's gas, you're going to be inhaling lye because there's lye in the machine. You're using lye. Oh my goodness, it dissolves bodies on television and stuff. Well, first of all, it doesn't dissolve bodies, and lye has been used as the basis for soap for thousands of years. So people have been putting it on their skin to clean themselves, and their dishes and their ovens, and all even lye is a normal thing used in a household even right now. And people lots of times don't realize it, like drain cleaner and stuff. Yes, you don't want to drink it, but you don't want to eat soap either, right? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that the lye stays in the machine, and we have a double safety to prevent anything getting scrubbed from the gas. Safety by scrubbing it from the gas. If any tiny little bits of lye happen to come out with the gas, riding on the water moisture, because the Brown's gas itself is always pure, but there's little tiny water droplets, water moisture that can come out with the gas, and those little tiny water droplets can have a little teeny amount of lye in it. So we go through the first scrubber, which we call a humidifier, and that just traps all those little water droplets, so the gas coming out is clear and pure. And then we also bubble through the drinking water jar. So there's no possibility, zero chance of anybody having that. And you can test for it, and we just went through a mass spectrometry test, had it done individual testing that verified what we did 30 years ago. Because we've been in the Brown's gas business for a long time. And we verified back then that it was pure, but we took modern machines like the AquaCure AC50 and the ER50 and machines that we've made that have been made since, like even some competitors' machines, and tested them all and run them through these mass spectrometry tests. And we know that Brown's gas machines do not have lye in the mixture. Even those people who are saying, oh, we're only using 5 grams of lye in the Brown's gas machine, because then you tend to have less lye in the gas. There's no lye in the gas with the 5% machine. That's very good, but there's no lye in the gas with an 80 grams in the machine either. It just doesn't happen. Okay, so the people out there, the fearmongers that are saying, oh, you have to buy a pure hydrogen machine because then you don't have to worry about the lye. First of all, that's true. You don't have to worry about lye because there's none there, but you don't have to worry about the lye anyway because it just doesn't happen. So I have on my eagle-research.com website a page that says, is lye safe? So just look up eagle-research.com search engine and is lye safe, and you'll find that page, and it goes through a long list of, most people are ingesting lye anyway now. I mean, even though it isn't in the Brown's gas, we're talking about safety profile of this common molecule structure that is NaOH. So it's sodium, oxygen, and hydrogen. And it's even safer, generally speaking, than table salt, which is sodium chloride. Because if you split it in an electrolyzer or even in your body, sodium chloride makes the sodium, which your body needs, but also chlorine. And then your body has to get rid of the chlorine. With sodium hydroxide, you get the sodium, the Na, but then it's just OH, which is just a hydroxyl, and it's non-toxic. So there's no issues as far as that goes. People who drink water from their municipality are already ingesting lye because they use lye standard to neutralize the pH so that the acid water, in order to make it more alkaline, because the acid water would eat the pipes, it dissolve the pipes. So you're already ingesting lye that way. And anybody who has eaten a pure pretzel, an actual pretzel, ingests lye because they use lye as a glaze on the pretzels.
Really?
Yes, these are examples. Plus, it's used in virtually every industry. Anybody who drinks milk, like back on the ranch, we used lye solution to clean all of the milking equipment because it takes the protein structures. That's why used really good for soap, right? So you're running lye solution through all the milking equipment and that kind of thing. Anybody who's well, just virtually all food processing, no matter what it is, uses lye because it's safe and effective, for real. And so the fear mongers out there saying things that because of the lye, it just isn't true. It's one thing that people get scared of because they see it on TV, used to dissolve bodies by murderers. But really, when it comes down to it, murderers don't do this at home. By the way, don't use lye. All that does is just keep the smell down. Like we used to put lye in the outhouse to keep the smell and the flies away from the composting material. And what you really want to use if you want to dissolve a body is called potassium hydroxide, and instead of sodium hydroxide. Potassium hydroxide does a really good job of dissolving skin and stuff.
Excellent advice for the wannabe murderers of the show.
So in any case, you got to watch your chemical formulations and be sure you actually know what you're talking about. And these people that are fear-mongering about lye really don't know what they're talking about, period. And then it goes down to another thing that they're talking about. They're saying, oh, because we use stainless steel plates, we must be making hexavalent chromium, which everybody knows causes cancer. Aaron Brockovich brought that out quite nicely back in the day. And that's true. Hexavalent chromium does cause cancer. But again, fear-mongering from people who are either ignorant or misinforming you deliberately and maliciously. There is no hexavalent chromium in the Brown's gas or even in a Brown's gas machine, because a properly designed Brown's gas machine doesn't dissolve the plates. The plates will last for decades. And I've been using electrolyzers that we've designed for decades. So I can literally say physically, the plates don't dissolve. I have, for example, downstairs right now, an ER1200 electrolyzer. So it makes 1,200 liters of an hour of gas instead of the ER50 or the AquaCure AC50, which makes 50 liters per hour of gas, because that's all that you need for therapeutic use. But these $15,000 machines down there, when I build them new, have 15 pounds of plates, electrodes, inside the machine. And having used that particular electrolyzer since 1996, okay, in my own shop, the plates still weigh 15 pounds. There's no dissolving of them or anything like that. So this is the kind of thing where there's a whole bunch of fear-mongering going on out there. Those are two examples. There's many others. Don't believe it. If you have any questions, ask me. Go on my website, send me an email. I answer all the emails, and I'll give you the facts of what's actually going on. And then you can make an informed decision. Now, there are things that are disadvantages about Brown's gas machines over pure hydrogen machines, one of which is they require more maintenance. Absolutely. No question, you're going to have to dump out the electrolyte and clean it and put it back in every 100 to 500 hours, where you don't necessarily have to do that with the pure hydrogen machines that use PEM or SPE membrane technology. Okay, fine. I admit that up front. But I believe that the Brown's gas, which has, and it's been proven to have a 30% more therapeutic value over pure hydrogen. And there's reasons why for that. For example, a recent study that was concluded last year using University of Washington in Washington State resources, we were able to show that, for example, I got to back up just a little bit more. Exclusion zone. People have probably heard of EZ water, exclusion zone water, that was discovered by Professor Gerald Pollack in the University of Washington. And we talk about it some in my 2019 water conference, where I was a speaker in Bad Soden, Germany, and then goes on from there. At that point, Professor Pollack asked me, how does Brown's gas affect the EZ zone, air exclusion zone? So we did the next summer. We started the next summer. Anyways, the experiments concluded to show, okay, when you put pure hydrogen in the water, the exclusion zone does not increase. When you put oxygen in the water, the exclusion zone does not increase, doesn't affect it. When you put oxyhydrogen mixture in the water, the exclusion zone isn't affected. When you put Brown's gas in the water, the exclusion zone doubles at least and can be 100 times bigger, 100 times more. Now, why is that important? Okay. Our bodies require exclusion or have an exclusion zone water, or what's called exclusion zone gel more accurately, in them. Exclusion zone is formed on a hydrophilic surface, which hydrophilic means water loving. So when you have water in contact with a hydrophilic surface, it automatically and spontaneously forms exclusion zone, or EZ. And what that is H3O2 negative. Okay, it isn't water, which is H2O. So the water goes from H2O to H3O2 negative, and some people call that structured water. Okay, so the negative is important because that means it has extra electrons. Electrons are negatively charged. Okay, so Brown's gas is made of hydrogen, so it can do everything that hydrogen can do. Everything that hydrogen can do, and a lot of the studies out there that say that they're hydrogen for health studies are actually using Brown's gas. So everything that hydrogen can do, pure hydrogen, Brown's gas can do as well, because a large part of Brown's gas is molecular hydrogen, or H2. Plus, Brown's gas contains oxygen and this what we call electrically expanded water. Electrically expanded water is water that has soaked up electrons to the point where the water itself has become a gaseous form of water, which is not water vapor or steam. It's the fourth state of matter. So you've got water, solid, which is ice, water, liquid, gas, which is usually water vapor or steam, and plasma is the fourth state of matter. And the plasma is what is called this electrically expanded water. Okay. So I was discovering this plasma form of water back in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and not really knowing what it was. There really is no tests for it. There's no way of measuring it. And even now, we have to measure it kind of as a side effect of other things that are happening, same as measuring magnetism. We can measure it, its strength and stuff, but there isn't a meter. Well, they make meters that measure the strength now, but there was a time when you couldn't measure things like gravity and magnetism and electricity because there were no meters to measure it. And so we're having to find out ways of measuring the electrically expanded water portion of the Brown's gas. Nevertheless, just because we can't measure it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And we can see the effects of it, like you can see the effects of electricity and gravity and magnetism. So back to what's happening with the exclusion zone. Okay, all of our bodies, inside our bodies, contain water-loving surfaces. Virtually everything that's in us. So everything that's in us gets this structured water, this EZ zone forming on it. So all of the insides of our arteries, veins, and capillaries have EZ zone or exclusion zone surface covering it. And all of the outsides of our red blood cells, same thing. And this is really important because when you get down to the size of a capillary, they are half the size of a red blood cell. So a red blood cell has to squeeze itself down into a sausage shape to squeeze through those little tiny, tiny tubes, and then impart the oxygen to the cells and gather the effluent or waste from the cells and take it back and through the kidneys and liver and all those kind of things to get rid of the waste. So all of this has to happen without friction. And since the EZ zone has a negative charge, and it's a negative charge on the cells lining the tubes and on the outside surface of the red blood cell, like charges repel each other. So in addition to the EZ gel being very, very slippery in and of itself, it has this like charges. So we end up with virtually no friction, which is very important because you can imagine if you tried to stuff a sausage through a little tube like that, it would just plug it like a cork, right? And so then we come down to a couple of scientific mysteries, medical mysteries, that have been just ignored because no one could explain them. And two of these mysteries, it goes like this. How is it that the heart has enough pressure at 100, about 120 psi, to push the blood through all of the veins, arteries, and capillaries, particularly the capillaries, that are hundreds of thousands of miles or kilometers of capillaries in our body. And it just, there's a scientific mystery, because when they actually do the calculations, they find that the heart, even at hundreds of psi or thousands of psi, wouldn't have enough pressure to push through all of those hundreds of thousands of miles. So that's number one. And number two, how is it, if you know fluid dynamics, any fluid takes the path of least resistance. So how is it that the heart pumps, but the blood doesn't just go around in the core system and into the veins and back into the heart? How come every single cell at the tippy top of my head to the tippy of my toes to the tips of my fingers gets exactly the right blood flow? How is it that it gets all the way out there and all the way back evenly throughout the entire body? Well, Professor Pollack's lab discovered it has to do with the EZ gel. What happens is, and they discovered if you have a very, very, very teeny capillary, and they did this in the water, they discovered that the water starts to spontaneously flow because of the EZ gel. Spontaneously, with no energy input. They have no pump, but the little tiny tubes, if it has the EZ gel in it, pumps the water itself. So it turns out that all the heart has to do is have enough pressure to get the blood to the capillaries, and the capillaries themselves do the actual pumping. All those hundreds of thousands of miles of capillaries are doing the actual pumping. And then the heart just sucks the blood back in the veins to itself, and that's mystery solved. But the medical industry out there just really isn't acknowledging that yet. And of course, that solves the second one about the fluid dynamics as well, because all that the heart has to do is get it out to that system, and then the system sucks it through without having to worry about it going immediately into the veins to come back to the heart. So all of these things are solved by the EZ gel. So the Brown's gas, not just plain hydrogen, but the Brown's gas increases the efficiency and efficacy of the EZ gel in your body. And it's one of the reasons, there are many, that the Brown's gas is better than the pure hydrogen when it comes down to the bottom line there. So this is this is what we're trying to do, is make sure that people get the greatest efficacy. And that's what I do. I spend 100% of my time on the best therapeutic value. So I don't even sell a pure hydrogen machine. I could put it up on the website like some of my competitors do, and sell Brown's gas and pure hydrogen. But I find I just don't have time to support more than just the Brown's gas technology. I want people to have the best. I use the best myself, and I'm really trying to help people the best I can. So I've been going on quite a bit there. Do you have any questions?
Don't open the Pandora's box. But well, yeah, all these facts are very interesting, and of course, I myself I can't know everything you say. From our last interview, I actually did some of the research to verify some things, and I actually verified a lot of things. Now, what's interesting about Brown's gas machines vs the hydrogen machines, I can understand some of the fear of some people. Usually, I'm not talking about the manufacturers or the sellers and stuff, but some people maybe have an issue of cleaning the machines. That would be my only, not concern, but I think many people are, we are people. We are certainly not very, not all of us are very organized. Certainly not all of us are very clean in the way we structure our day and our weeks and our months. And there might be a problem, which of course, um, if you don't follow the instructions and you do it wrong, it's your fault. But as you know, George, we live in our modern society where sometimes people are used to be comforted and used to be, everything is in your hands and you don't do anything. People are getting useless and more useless. And I'm talking also about myself. I'm mechanically so inept that it's not even funny. I'm the complete opposite of you. So, and this is a fact because I was studying. Many people are like book rats, modern day, not as mechanically adept as our forefathers were. I think the IQ has a little bit downgraded, in my opinion, from what I see. So there might be a little bit of concern. So, do you have any ideas? Because we have 10 minutes more for this interview, but do you have any ideas? Because the facts are interesting. Everything about you say, super interesting, in my opinion. But do you have any ideas on how people should organize their minds, especially sick people, and actually follow the instructions and make it a habit? Is there anything you've seen or read from comments or anything from emails?
That is a really good thing to bring up and question. It is, again, we come back to the maintenance and how a person structures their life to maintain, first of all, strength and um, being able to lift the machine and turn it over and pour the solution out into a pot. Just that. Some people aren't able to do it, and I'm sorry for that. I really, I wish there was a way to do it better. There are machines out there where they just open a petcock and drain the machine out that way, but unfortunately, those type of machines don't get really clean inside, and so they over a relatively short period of time, it might be a couple of years or something, they start to plug up inside because they just can't get clean using that type of a cleaning method. Whereas we do a full cleaning out, bulk, quick cleaning, so you can get all the sludge and everything out of the machine instead of just a trickle cleaning. Let's call it. Okay, so it actually washes inside of the machine as you're doing your cleaning kind of thing. Okay. Um, so yes, there are people that are physically unable to lift a 10-pound machine and manipulate it over a sink. And unfortunately, a lot of those are the people who need it the most. Uh, and I am trying to get younger people to do the Brown's gas because, for example, of mouse studies they have, when the mice are inhale the Brown's gas from a younger time, these rodent studies, mice and rats and stuff, because mice live a shorter time. As humans, I've been inhaling Brown's gas for 7 years, and I look younger now than I did when I started to inhale. I look like I'm 20 years back. This is if you look at pictures of me, and you can see on my YouTube channel me when I first inhaled the Brown's gas in March of 2016, and you can see that I look younger now than I did then, and I
True.
certainly feel younger. I can. All right, so the point is, the younger you are when you start inhaling and drinking the hydrogen-rich water, or in our case, Brown's gas, um, the longer you're going to have a healthful lifespan. So what we're talking, and so I'm promoting that as much as possible. Athletes, they increase their athletic performance and all that kind of thing. So strength, you get some strength when you start to do the Brown's gas. So if you're kind of on the edge, you're probably going to be able to, as soon as you start getting into it, your muscles will strengthen and you'll be able to maintain the machine better. But there are people that are, and hopefully those kind of people that need it but can't have the strength, and hopefully those kind of people will have somebody around them, some family or younger people or caretakers who can actually maintain the machine for them. And yes, you're going to have to set up a schedule. The machine has an hour meter on the back of it, so you can see to do the 100-hour maintenance cleanings. And if you actually maintain the machine properly, you can stretch that to 200 or 300 hours without worrying about the extra sludge formation or anything like that. But you experiment to see what works best for you. And that's the thing with the Brown's gas machines. If they're maintained properly, they'll last for decades. Whereas the hydrogen machines using the PEM technology, for example, last a very few years, and that's it. If it's more than 5, that's exceptional. Whereas the Brown's gas machines are just getting started after 5 years. So when you make an investment of approximately the same amount of money, the Brown's gas is going to serve you much longer than the PEM technology, which is, yes, it's pure hydrogen and a lot less maintenance, but in both cases you have to put in pure water. If you put like tap water or spring water or water that has any impurities into a PEM machine, a straight hydrogen machine, they will plug up fast and quickly become non-operational. With Brown's gas, it doesn't do the machine any good to put in impure water. It causes plating on the electrodes. It may produce gas constituents. Like if you put in something containing salt, sodium chloride, then you'll get chlorine gas coming out with the Brown's gas. But the same thing happens if you do it in a pure hydrogen machine as well. If you don't put in pure water, you're going to get these side effect gases coming out. So again, in both technologies, you have to put in pure water. With the Brown's gas machine, it tends to be more resilient against that. If there's some impurities, it'll soak it up without too much damage to the machine. Where the pure hydrogen machines have a very severe problem with that. So getting back to the first thing would be physical ability to maintain the machine. The second thing is time. One of the things that we have in our life is a lack of time. Like everybody has the same amount of time. I'm not saying that, but there's so many things that we need to do with our time these days. And a lot of people, just to make a living, they have to work long hours. They have commitments that they have to do during the day. They don't have time to even inhale very much. And unfortunately, again, a lot of these people are ill, and they're the ones that desperately need the Brown's gas, because virtually every ailment known to man is what we've been discovering. There are now thousands of scientific studies showing this statement that I'm going to make right now. Virtually every ailment known to man is either caused by or exacerbated by lack of hydrogen deficiency. So in addition to the regular hydrogen that I think everybody should be supplementing with these days, the Brown's gas has that additional therapeutic efficacy. So that's what we're looking for, or what I'm trying to help with. But time. So in addition to the physical problem, we have time problem. People having not enough time to maintain the machine, to do the supplementation. For those people, I say, inhale at night. There's various ways, and you can email me and I'll give you a bunch of tips and hints on how to get silicone cannulas that are comfortable to inhale at night. There's a lot of people that have to take oxygen at night. So this has already been set up and is a proven methods. So you can inhale at night when you're sleeping. So you get two first. I love two first, when you get two for the price of one kind of thing. So you're getting your sleep, and a lot of people, they report better sleep when they're inhaling with the Brown's gas. And at the same time, then you get your Brown's gas, your supplementation while you're sleeping. So the two big problems I can see with the Brown's gas is the physical capability and time to maintain the machine. And the second one is time to actually use the machine and get things in there. Longer appears to be more efficacious. For a healthy person like yourself, you could probably maintain your health with an hour or two at the most of Brown's gas inhalation a day. And you'd get plenty for your body to maintain your regeneration system for your stem cells, so your wounds would heal fast and you don't age, and also keep all your immune systems up and running so that any pathogens that come around just bounce right off you. And that's how it's been with me since 2005 when I started drinking the Brown's gas bubbled water. I haven't been sick since 2005, and that has been a great blessing. I'm sorry to see the people around me getting sick, and I try to help them not be sick by giving them this gas and the advantages of this that turn back on and give the immune system what it needs. And it has been a huge time saver for me, like not being sick, being able to work from 3 or 3:30 in the morning till 5 p.m. at night, and then spending some hours in the evening with my wife every day for 7 years. I couldn't do that and have all the stresses that have been happening in my life and not get sick. So these are the kinds of things that we try to help people, and those are the advantages that you have. But there are the disadvantages of the you have to maintain the machine. It takes more to maintain it instead of just putting in distilled water like a regular hydrogen machine. And people should get at least hydrogen. I have nothing against hydrogen. I'm just promoting the Brown's gas because I need to focus on. I feel I need to focus on the most efficacious therapy. But if that's what you want, you get those hydrogen sports bottles that are out there. So you can drink hydrogen-rich water. They don't make very much gas for inhalation, but if you can get a hydrogen inhalation machine that puts out at least 120 milliliters per minute of hydrogen, like the Brown's gas, the ER50 does a lot more than that. We're talking in the 800 um, milliliters per minute, but and make sure that you get at least 120 for somewhat efficacious, therapeutic efficacious use. Those little hydrogen bottles don't do very much. They're like 20 milliliters per minute. So you would need quite a few of them, all hooked together to make the enough gas to be therapeutically valuable. But they'll make good hydrogen-rich water, and you should have at least that. And then if you could get the hydrogen inhalation, that's good. We're showing, and that's one of the nice things about it. It's not a drug; it's food, and there's zero negative side effects. Like there may be a negative thing that people feel while their body is trying to heal, but the actual physical fact is there's no negative side effects to the inhalation of hydrogen that you get. And in the scientific studies, in not only do they show that, but they show a lot of additional positive side effects. Like they'll test it for something like tinnitus, for example, and they'll discover that the person's cancer went away. So these are all good
Amazing.
things. Did I answer your question sufficiently?
I think yeah. I think yeah, it was critical, and I'm pleased with the answer. And I think yeah, people if they're weak should have somebody. I mean, kind of goes without saying. Yeah, you should have some support system around you. Probably very critical to have people that love you and want to help you, which is also something that in modern times, people break, families break, so that might be an issue. But other than that, yeah, everything you say makes sense. And of course, I guess since we are slowly closing this beautiful interview again, um, people, I guess, can find everything or things in your website, right, George?
Right. So if you go to the aquacure.life website, everything you need to know will be up front, and you can email me from there, from the website contact us page as well if you have any particular questions. And if you use go to buy the AquaCure and use the Wolf20 coupon code until April 30th, it'll give a 20% discount. And we also have a lifetime warranty on the machines. Like I've got electrolyzers that I've been using since 1986, so we can definitely make sure that we have decades of use with your investment, and we have a 1 year satisfaction guarantee. So there's no question, if you want to return the machine, like you try it for whatever health condition or whatever you want to try it for, and if it isn't working for you, then you can return it and get your money back, which, now that we've been doing this for several years, I can say is about 1 in 1,000. And most people that return it without even ever having used it. It
Hmm.
either was never even taken out of the box, or it was taken out of the box and they decided they just didn't have what it took to do the maintenance on the machine, which is why we try to tell people up front, yes, you're going to have to maintain the machine. And if you can't do that, then we're sorry. We're so sorry. We just can't help you yet. We don't have a technology that's maintenance free that can provide the hydrogen, in this case specifically Brown's gas, in the therapeutic value. So we're just hoping that people will realize up front that they need to do that. So we've got the lifetime warranty, the 1 year satisfaction guarantee, because we want to make sure that people can use it and know that it helps them. And we want every machine out there to be helping people. So even when they return it, then we refurbish it and we sell it at a lower cost refurbished. We don't get very many refurbished machines back. So whatever's on the website, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. And we can go from there.
All right, excellent. All right, people. So go below, find the links, everything, the link to the website, the link, of course, to getting your own machine with Wolf 20 until 13th. 13th? How do you say
The,
it?
the
30th?
30th, the last day
30th.
of April. Yes.
I'm Greek, guys. I'm Greek. I'm sorry.
No worries. I love Greek.
Yeah. So go get it below. And thank you, George, for coming on again and gracing us with your wisdom and your everything, the science, everything you do. I think it's very important work, regardless if there are people that agree or disagree. I think the conversation has to be there. So worst case scenario, we are doing conversation about important things. So everybody listening, just keep that in mind, everything that George said. So George, please stay for a minute after the recording ends. And everybody else, thanks for your attention. And I hope you learned something valuable today. And of course, if you are sick or suffering, um, I would say give it a try. My brother gave it a try, and he's much much better. So my brother is using the AquaCure for months now, and he's much better. Like the skin is improved. I should make some pictures. Probably I'll do. So yeah. That being said, ciao ciao everybody. Enjoy your May. Ciao ciao.